This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
My countrymen and my friends, I had hoped against hope that some miracle would prevent a devastating war and bring to an end the invasion.
This is the most serious threat World Wrestling Federation has ever known.
The long-term future of sports entertainment could change forever.
A succession of actual wars have shaken the entire world and have threatened to bring on the gigantic conflict, which is today, unhappily, a fact.
No force of nature and no act of God could stop this invasion from happening.
I have said not once but many times that I have seen war and that I hate war.
This is our last chance.
There's no going back. There is no tomorrow. They want to finish us off.
Feel this moment for the rest of your life.
This war is only half over, and it could damn well be lost.
We're laying it all on the line.
Nothing can stop the WCW and ECW.
Austin is going to lead us into invasion.
Lift up your heart. All will come right.
We will kick WCW and ECW's.
No WWF superstar is going to deny us from our destiny.
Dad, the sports entertainment.
I have seen war and I hate war.
Place to Be Nation. Welcome back to another episode of Nation Invasion. I'm your host, James Gruenberg, and tonight I along with my guests, will be covering Monday Night Raw from October 15th, 2001, and WWF SmackDown from October 18th, 2001. A lot of moving parts here as we had a fired WWF commissioner, a return for WWF commissioner, and now we have a new alliance commissioner. Some returns here as well tonight on Raw here as well. But before we deep dive into all of that, let me introduce to you my guest, Mr. Scott Shifflett. Scott, how are you doing tonight?
Gruney, I'm glad to be back on this show. You know, as we talked before, you're getting to the tail end of it, and it's just been a hell of a run. You know, I was shocked with how much I enjoyed these episodes for the most part. There was something where I messaged you and I was like, this hour sucks, but it was thankfully the first hour of SmackDown, and you were like, it gets better in the second hour, and you were correct. But glad to be back, Gruney. I'm glad to do a deep dive into these two episodes. Yeah.
Hey, Scott, I do have one question for you. Were you watching these pay-per-views on DirecTV?
No, and if I did have DirecTV, Gruney, I would have to come over to your house to watch the pay-per-views because they only repeated that 25 million times.
Good God, Scott! Like, I cannot. Like, Vince McMahon was force-feeding Jim Ross and Michael Cole at the same time just to say, make sure it's not. They know it's not on DirecTV. Like. This to me was like one of those, like your like, are you smarter than WCW Vince Russo? Like insane things that happen. This was like the most insane thing. How many times they repeated it's not on DirecTV?
Yeah, I mean, I know what they were trying to do, but it was just so over the top. They should have just done it a little bit less. But yeah, it's it was too much.
Yeah, it was just so bad here. And tonight, you know, we're actually in Canada. I'm surprised too, like that they decided to make a trip up to Canada for a Raw and SmackDown here because you know, like we have like this big pay-per-view coming up. No Mercy in St. Louis, Missouri. It's going to be on that Sunday here, and boy, we have a lot to cover here. Let's get right into it. This is Raw, October 15, 2001 from Ottawa. Scott, we have a recap of SmackDown here as Mick Foley has returned as the WWF commissioner. Linda McMahon fired Commissioner Regal, and he is now going to be the Alliance commissioner. He jumps ship. Mick Foley returns, and he gives Rob Van Dam an opportunity of a lifetime to compete with Kurt Angle and Stone Cold in a triple threat match for the WWF Championship. Scott, I think this was a little too little too late here for Mick Foley, as like it's already winding down. Do we really need the Regal turn and the bring back of Commissioner Foley here?
Absolutely not. With Foley, he had just retired at the start of the year. The year before.
Yeah,
he needed to just be away for a little bit longer. With these constant of him showing up and everything, like it just got old real quick. And I know he's the master of the cheap pop, but like when he talks about later about his book coming out and shit, it's like, dude, I don't care. Plus Gruney, I try to read the Hardcore Diaries, and the way he just like pats himself on the back so much, it's left a sour taste in my mouth with him, for the most part. But like in the wrestling sense, like the other stuff he does, I'm fine with. But with this right here, he just seems like a relic from a bygone era in 2001, which is insane.
Yeah, Scott, I've always said keep Regal as the WWF commissioner, and I'll say it one more time. Mike Sanders should have been the WCW, ECW commissioner from the start. That's it.
Yes, I agree.
And it's crazy because, like, I've said it, the announcement of making Rob Van Dam the third man in the main event is the Mick Foley highlight of this run. That's it, basically.
Not the highlight, and it would have been better if the outcome for No Mercy was different. Don't want to spoil anyone, but I would have had something happen different with the main event than what happens personally, because RVD is over. I forgot how over he was, but damn, Gruney, he was over.
He's basically the only Alliance member that doesn't get booed in the whole Alliance, basically. Like, the fans of WWF were just over with him. He was like, nah, you know what? We love Rob Van Dam. Like, we don't care that he's on the Alliance side. He's cool, and we're cool with him.
You're 100% right.
So, we said, we had the recap of SmackDown, and then we're live in Ottawa here tonight. Mick Foley comes to the ring. He explains why he came back to the WWF. He shows off his new book, Halloween Hijinks. Foley says he came back for the fans, and then out of nowhere, we haven't seen her in a while, ever since she got shoulder surgery in late July, early August, right after the WWF Invasion pay-per-view. That is Trish Stratus. She returns, and she's plugging away the lingerie match for WWF No Mercy on pay-per-view, which is going to be Tori Wilson versus Stacy Keibler. She takes off her jacket and reveals her lingerie. Mick Foley had some very perverted lines. Oh, we should just put you up in a cage and you can just dance your lingerie all night. I don't know why Mick Foley wanted to say that. He's very protective of the women. He's not sexist.
Yeah, that's what he always claims. Then he has these comments and saying that that she should go back to his house and everything. It was very odd. And he was going to put her in a cage at his house too, Gruney, which is strange.
Yeah, it really was. And then he leaves like with her, and like that is where that ends, as Mick Foley and Trish Stratus take off. Then the Alliance is backstage. Stone Cold says he's cool with Rob Van Dam in the main event, but it seems like he's lying. Austin then says everyone deserves to be Stone Cold's tag team partner, because tonight Stone Cold Steve Austin and a partner of his choosing will face off against Kurt Angle and a partner of his choosing. So Stone Cold says that everyone will get a vote in the Alliance. Booker T says it'll be an honor to tag with Austin. So Stone Cold's telling RVD, hey man, it's cool, like maybe when you win, at least the WWF title will be in the Alliance. And then we have Booker T kissing up to Austin.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. This is when Stone Cold was funny. When he says, I need everyone's attention. RVD, this includes you, which just makes me laugh. And going to let the Alliance members vote to see who deserves it the most, Gruney.
Yeah. Then the APA are backstage with Jacqueline and the women's Tough Enough winner, the first women's Tough Enough winner, I should say, Nydia. They're going into the APA's office, but then out of nowhere, we see a motorcycle revving as the Hurricane and Mighty Molly rip and drag the whole APA office with the Hurricycle. Bradshaw says, "Stand back, there's an ass whooping coming."
Yeah, I like that a lot. You would think that they would that would be the match tonight, but I mean that would be a match on pay-per-view with how much that we deal with them, Gruney. But no, that match does not happen, despite it's clearly setting up a feud.
Yeah, the Hurricane and his tag team partner Lance Storm, they go in a different direction at No Mercy, and the APA's basically left off the card here.
Yeah, it's insane.
Mm-hmm. I still think Farouk was dealing with injuries, and they just did not know what they had in Bradshaw yet, which is crazy as well.
It really is crazy. Like you see it a little bit more with the draft when they start using him more, but then he gets hurt, and then he comes back with the APA and blonde JBL, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it's insane that, like, again, you have 1 year off and then you're back, and then 2004 was the real turning point for Bradshaw.
Yeah, yes, it was.
So now we have the Dudley Boys versus the Big Show in a handicap match. Double clothesline to the Dudleys, double suplex to Big Show. What's up, to Big Show? Chokeslam to Devon. Bubba hits Big Show with a title belt, and Devon gets the win. I went a star and 3/4. It was fine for what it was. It was fun. The Dudley Boys really cannot lift the Big Show here, so they have to cheat with the title belt, and then just Devon gets just covers him for the win. The Dudley Boys begin to beat down the Big Show. Tajiri comes out to save him. Tajiri hits Bubba with the miss, and then Big Show gives Bubba a choke slam through a table. So what did you think of the match here, Scott?
Yeah, I want to star and a half. It's really a no-nothing match. It's basically what you get in this time, but as someone who's been watching a bunch of Russo matches, it went like 2 minutes longer than what I'm used to on these, and I was pleasantly surprised. I'm a big fan of them hitting the what's up. I know they were heels. I like Big Show when he suplexed both Dudleys because they tried it again and he actually suplexed them. Stacy looks amazing as always. And, the Alliance are the heels in this, which is completely wrong. But, I like the win here. And it looks like we're getting a nice tag team of Tajiri and Big Shows. I love like the spin of the green mist.
Yeah, because they've been doing a lot of back and forth like Big Show tag teams here. Like they really did not trust him when he came back from the fat farm, as JT likes to say, of OVW. They've had him with the one Billy Gunn. They were Shoguns. Then he was with Spike Dudley, and then Spike Dudley got catapulted through a table on last week's SmackDown, and now he's with Tajiri, who's seeking retribution because the Dudley Boys put Tori Wilson through a table. So we'll have to see how everything works out with them as well. The Alliance then comes to the ring. Stephanie McMahon says the Alliance is all about fairness and opportunity. Shane says there is a new hire. He announces Regal as the commissioner of the Alliance. So no surprise there, as Regal needs a job since he was fired as WWF commissioner. Hey, why not just give him a job as our commissioner? Regal says he's proud to be the new commissioner. He says it was the right move to join the Alliance because they are a rising force. Stone Cold then starts to read the votes. Says Tommy Dreamer voted for Booker T. Canyon voted for Rob Van Dam. Chuck Palumbo voted for Booker T. And Raven and Kidman voted for Booker T. Austin says that all the other votes say Booker T, and he doesn't read any of the rest of them. But according to Austin, Rob Van Dam only got one lousy vote and says Booker T will be the WWF will be the tag team partner of Stone Cold here tonight. Rob Van Dam is mad because he thinks he should be Austin's tag partner, but Austin says he got one vote. Austin says RVD deserves to face The Rock for the WCW title, and since Commissioner Regal is the WCW commissioner and Shane McMahon has power over the WCW titles, he can make that match official. So, Scott, a lot of coverage in this one segment here.
Yeah, I did like when he read off a couple names, Kidman and Dreamer for one. When they said that he voted for Booker T, you could see the look on their face that wasn't the case. So Austin's clearly setting the deck for Booker T. He doesn't trust RVD. I love Booker T being so happy he was. And looks like we're getting a world title match tonight, which I was not expecting.
Yeah. So, Stone Cold is, I guess, looking to put Rob Van Dam out of the match, because if Rob Van Dam beats The Rock here tonight, he will go on to face Chris Jericho in Jericho's WCW title match at No Mercy.
Yeah, and that's a good way to get him out, because then he doesn't have to worry about him.
Yeah. Austin then says that the alliance is behind him, so he has Rob Van Dam has the full mighty support of the alliance here.
Yep, but we know that's tongue-in-cheek.
Yep. Now we have a 6-person tag. It's the Hurricane, Lance Storm, and Mighty Molly versus the APA and Jacqueline. Right off the bat with the Hurricane's entrance, Scott, we finally have the Superman-like theme song instead of the the retro hip-hop theme. That's gone finally, and we finally have the Hurricanes Superman full theme here. So it was finally good they finally found the superhero theme.
Yeah, I really love the Hurricane here. He's it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. All four guys brawl, drop kick to Farouk, spinebuster to Storm, spear to Molly by Jacqueline, bulldog to Molly, enziguri to Hurricane, big boot by Bradshaw, fallaway slam to Hurricane, and a clothesline from Hell for the win. For this matchup, I went 1.5 stars. It was a fun match. The APA they get their revenge and they get the win here. Bradshaw does a brutal clothesline to Hurricane here.
Yeah, I went 1.5 stars as well. Bradshaw just made Hurricane look like a geek towards the end of the match. But I do agree with you. That clothesline from Hell was disgusting. I even my note here was, damn, that's a hell. That's why they call it a clothesline from Hell. It was pretty brutal. But it felt like when you hear those horror stories of the APA and the WCW guys being bullied, it's definitely what it feels like here, because this was just a mugging of a Hurricane.
Yeah. So then also Nydia's there too, just for her to get a feel of what it's like in the WWF. Get her some airtime, and she'll be on SmackDown as well too.
Yeah, I had no idea that she debuted. I knew Maven was there, but I had no idea she was on TV for a little bit. I just remembered her with Jamie Noble.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised that with they have all these matches with Maven and Taz. I'm surprised they weren't featuring more of Ivory versus Nydia. You have the heel male alliance trainer fighting Maven. Should have Ivory as the female trainer. Well, I don't even think she was a female trainer for Tough Enough 1, but would have been cool to see Ivory just beat up Nydia for the sake of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Kidman is backstage with Rob Van Dam. He says that Austin might be trying to just pull Rob Van Dam from the triple threat match, as a lot of people have said that hey, I don't think Austin was being fair, and those votes might have been rigged or something. So then Kidman then says no one voted for Booker T. Then all of a sudden Taz comes out of nowhere, and he's like, hey, Kidman, you got a problem with Stone Cold? Fight me tonight. And Billy Kidman actually agrees. So for Stone Cold like saying no, the Alliance members don't fight each other, they're gonna let Kidman and Taz brawl it out here.
Yeah. Kidman calls Taz a tazzletale. I don't know if you caught that or not. And we already got the Alliance starting to break up even more infighting.
Yeah, and Taz has fallen very, very fast.
Oh yes, 1000%. They make him look like a joke here.
Yes, Coach is backstage with Kurt Angle. Angle doesn't know who his tag team partner will be. Undertaker comes in and says it'll be him, and then Kurt's like, "Yeah, that Undertaker, he's not a bad suggestion either. So I pick him."
Yeah, I like that. Like Taker just bullying him to be on the team. And he's like, "That's a good idea." And then he's like, "I'll need sunglasses and a do-rag." Or yeah.
Oh yeah. Now and then Michael Cole is then backstage with Chris Jericho. He asks Jericho who he would rather face at No Mercy, The Rock or Rob Van Dam. Jericho says he hopes The Rock wins. He begins to mock The Rock, actually. Rock comes in. Rock knows he can beat Jericho. Rock tells Jericho to stay out of his way. So again, the heat of Rock versus Jericho is building up even more here now.
Yeah, I really love this feud with them. I'm watching it fondly when this was live, and it felt like this was Jericho taking the next step, and you definitely feel it more now. So, yeah, it's just Rock saying Jericho's number one. Like, that's what he always goes back to, and it makes you kind of want to cheer for Jericho, even though Rock's supposed to be the babyface.
Especially in Canada, as well as the Ottawa and Montreal crowd were really cheering for Jericho here.
Yes, they were. They were super behind him.
Mm-hmm. So now we have our WCW title match. It is The Rock versus Rob Van Dam. Jericho comes out to do commentary. Belly to belly by Rock. Clothesline to the outside by RVD. RVD misses a spinning heel kick on the outside. RVD and Rock both go into the announcer's table. Missile drop kick by RVD to Rock. A leg drop to the Rock. RVD goes into the turnbuckle. RVD misses the split-legged moonsault. DDT to RVD by the Rock. RVD counters the Rock bottom. Spinebuster to RVD. Leg sweep to the Rock. Rock counters the Rolling Thunder. Rock slams RVD into the table again. RVD distracts the ref. Then Rhino comes out and he gores the Rock. Rob Van Dam is going up for the 5-star frog splash, but Jericho pushes RVD for the disqualification. For this matchup, I went 2 3/4. I love Rob Van Dam every time he wrestles, and for him to go toe-to-toe with The Rock, they put on a very great matchup here. Obviously, there was going to be some shenanigans as, maybe Stone Cold sent Rhino out to take out The Rock so our Rob Van Dam could win, but Jericho thoughts all those plans away as he interferes here as well.
Yeah, and going back to that DDT, Gruney, he's like RVD's selling of that DDT is sort of how he sold the RKO. He landed right on his head and just was there perfectly still and fell over. I thought that was very nice. I love their battle outside the ring because it was just back and forth with it. And Rhino's gore is just awesome. And RVD would have won that match, but Jericho pushed him off. And then after the match, Rhino and RVD beat down The Rock, but Jericho didn't help. So I thought that was very interesting that Jericho's not going to help him because he wants him maybe a little beaten down for Sunday.
Well, he also said to stay out of his The Rock also said, stay out of my way. So Jericho's not going to help The Rock because he said, oh, hey, I'm still going to stay out of the way. I'm going to enjoy trying to fend off Rhino and Rob Van Dam now.
That is 100% true. He's just listening to him.
Yep. So then backstage, Stephanie is backstage with Rhino. Steph says Rhino needs to end Jericho tonight. And she's like, Stone Cold is pissed that Jericho interfered. So now they're calling on Rhino to take out Jericho once and for all tonight. They have a good relationship, Rhino and Steph here. Steph summoned Rhino to take out Jericho at SummerSlam. That didn't happen, but Steph and Rhino had good communication skills.
Yeah, she wants Rhino to end Jericho's career. Steph's overacting is great here.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be even better on SmackDown too.
That is 1,000% correct.
Yeah. So now we have Taz versus Billy Kidman. Alliance member versus Alliance member. Drop kick to Taz. Kidman misses a crossbody. Suplex to Kidman. Diving elbow to Taz. A facebuster to Taz for the win. For this matchup, I went a half a star.
Yeah,
Taz is falling apart here. This is a half a star.
Yeah, this is just makes Taz look like a joke. This was nothing. I was expecting the shooting star press. We didn't get that, obviously, but it made Kidman look great, but it made Taz look like shit, which I guess that was their whole point. But yeah, I didn't even rate it, Gruney, so I'll go half a star as well. Because it was so quick. I don't know.
Yeah. Now we have Rhino versus Chris Jericho. Clothesline by Rhino. Missile dropkick by Jericho. Spinebuster by Rhino. Spear to Jericho. Airplane spin into a neck breaker by Rhino. Rhino misses a splash. Flying forearm to Rhino. Belly to belly suplex to Jericho. Walls of Jericho to Rhino, but then Alliance members start to come out and they throw the match out here. They come out to beat on Jericho. Rock comes out to save Jericho, but then he gives the rock bottom to Jericho as well. So Rock here getting a little payback on Jericho for not helping him, but Rock said stay out of the Rock's way. So now the Rock is getting in Chris Jericho's way here as he gives Jericho the rock bottom here as well. For the match, I went 2 1/4 here.
Yeah, this was a fun match. I like the spine buster that Rhino hit on Jericho early. It was pretty beautiful. Not as good as Arn Anderson, but just a step below. But then with the Alliance running out, we had a 3-on-1 attack on that. Rock ran down, just beat him down, then the rock bottom on Jericho. So it shows he's not going to forget or forgive for what he didn't do earlier tonight.
No, so again, the heat is really, really turning up here for Rock and Jericho. Now we have Diamond Dallas Page. He's at WWF New York. Instead of doing his a self-motivational video, he is at WWF New York saying, it's great to be me, DDP. They are doing Diamond Dallas Page so wrong here.
Yeah, I know it's the start of his his gimmick that he does towards the end of his career, but you talk about a wasted WCW star. He was a main eventer, Gruney, and they had him the stalker angle, the pop for when he revealed was amazing, but then he got his ass beat by Undertaker and Kane for months. Sarah even beat him, and now they're doing this, and it's just this is how we're gonna treat this is how we're gonna treat WCW stars.
Yeah, it's totally just weird here, Have you ever seen that movie, Baby Geniuses? The first one?
Yeah, I've seen the first one, yeah. A long time ago.
Yeah, look at the face of the animatronic baby. That looks like DDP with the big eyes here, I said that to Tim Taylor, and he really agreed with me on it, too.
Wow, that movie has a 2% on Rotten Tomatoes. But yeah, it's I've seen that, but God, Yeah, I just can't believe like what they did to him.
Mm-hmm. Now we have Edge versus X-Pac. Keep in mind, Scott, X-Pac is still the light heavyweight champion. I bet you didn't know that the light heavyweight championship was still relevant because it's not even on the line. X-Pac is carrying a novelty item, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And I talked about Mick being out of place. X-Pac feels so out of place here. Like year 2000 hit, and he was no longer cool or relevant. Like, just be gone, X-Pac, and the crowd does not give a shit at all. I mean, he can still work. He can, he still can work like wrestle and everything, but he needed a gimmick change 100%.
So now we have a takedown by X-Pac, bulldog by Edge, spinning heel kick to X-Pac, baseball slide to Edge, cross body dive counter by Edge, a spinning heel kick by X-Pac, spear to X-Pac, reverse neck breaker by Edge, flapjack to X-Pac, and then the Impaler DDT by Edge for the win. For this matchup, I went 2 stars. I enjoyed it. It was fun. X-Pac still has his moves, but the crowd could care less about X-Pac, and all they wanted to do was see Edge.
Yeah, this is the start of like Edge starting to become over with the crowd, and then like injuries get in the way of it. But this was very nice. Like I like this the spin kick that started off, and then X-Pac hit the nice baseball slide outside the ring as well. Then hit a spin kick of his own. Edge hitting the spear on X-Pac when he tried the Bronco Buster, I liked a lot. Then he hit the Impaler DDT, which I think he should still use as a finishing move because the spear ain't working with Edge. But I'll let you continue with what happens after the match.
Yep, Jim Ross then leaves the announcer's table, and he tells Edge some bad news. Edge runs backstage. He runs into Christian. He tells Christian that their mom has been in an accident. Christian's like, well, why did they call me first? Like, who cares, man? Our mom's in an accident. Let's go. But then they are met by members of the Alliance. It's Canyon, Hugh Morris, and Chuck Palumbo. And then Christian then hits Edge from behind. Christian then starts beating down Edge with the rest of the Alliance members. And then Paul Heyman announces Christian as the newest member of the Alliance. He's laughing hysterically about this setup here. I thought that Christian should have been in the Alliance as he turned on his brother at SummerSlam. Have the build-up, and then at least, Christian, the Alliance can say, oh, we have the Intercontinental title back in the Alliance camp. Instead, they go with Christian being the Intercontinental champion as a free agent. He's still part of the WWF, but he's a free agent on the WWF. I think that they should have went with the whole Christian's part of the Alliance back in September when he turned on his brother. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, they should have had him join immediately, since it was just so like cut and dry with like if you're a bad guy, you're on the Alliance. If you're a good guy, you're in WWF. They should have had him join immediately instead of this part right here, because he gets lost in the shuffle anyway, and he was already sort of lost with this, but just have him join then. But I did like how Christian said it was an accident when mom gave birth to you. They're still pretending they're brothers. So that's a pretty it's a pretty brutal line. I forgot that Hugh Morris was here during this time. I thought Chuck Palumbo would be a big star. Same with Canyon. I was wrong. Well, at least maybe at WCW would have stuck around. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, the mighty have fallen in WCW personnel here. Undertaker is backstage, and Kurt Angle comes out in a red, white, and blue bandana. Angle's like, well, you're an American badass. I'm an Olympic lass. Booker T and Stone Cold, they make a horse's ass. So let's go kick some ass. And then Undertaker's like, yeah. You could tell that like Undertaker had to look away because like he's trying to make me break character. Like, it felt like Vince pulled Kurt's like, Go out in this, see what happens, see if you can get him to break. Undertaker would not break, and then he goes, "You're going to take that off, right?" He goes, "Well, I wasn't thinking about it, but I guess I could."
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Like, it shows how hilarious he is.
Mm-hmm. So now we have Booker T and Stone Cold versus Kurt Angle and The Undertaker. All 4 men brawl. Booker beats down Angle. A crossbody by Angle. Belly-to-belly suplex by Angle. Luthez press to Undertaker. Scissors kick to Undertaker. Clothesline by Undertaker. Austin slams Kurt into the steps. Heel kick by The Undertaker. Austin counters the sleeper. Chops by Booker T. Crossbody to Austin. Ankle lock to Austin. Angle counters a stunner. Tag to Taker. Clotheslines to Austin and Booker T. And then Tim White goes down. A clothesline to Austin. Test then stops Test interferes. He stops The Undertaker from hitting Booker T with a last ride. Test bride. And then Kurt fights off Test and Booker. Big boot to Kurt. Big boot to Kurt by a Test. Booker and then Test beat up Undertaker. Kane comes out and he chases away Test. Austin hits Angle with the WWE title. Angle kicks out. Low blow by Angle. Rob Van Dam comes out and both men are down. He gives Angle a 5-star frog splash and Austin covers Angle for the win. For this matchup, I went 3 stars on it. And it looks like Rob Van Dam is aligning himself and knows that he's with the Alliance. He wants Stone Cold to know that I'm with you, man, 100%. Like, let's take down the WWF and Kurt Angle.
Yeah, this was a fun match. I'll go 3 stars with you. I loved how they just started battling around the ring as soon as Angle came down, and Angle hit a nice belly-to-belly suplex as well on Booker T. This was a typical WWF main event at the time, but it's just so much fun with the star power. Easy for me to say. I liked when Taker just beats the shit out of Austin and does that with Booker T as well. And like when Test comes in, Test kind of looked like a badass. He got that nice big boot on Angle. Kane ran down. They started fighting out, and they brawled through the crowd. That took out Taker and Booker T as well. Austin just beating down the refs. I remember he did that at SummerSlam as well. And I loved how they traded low blows. And RVD, because they were both down right there, and he looked at both of them, and he hit the 5-star on Angle. Then Austin then pins him. But I don't know. I wouldn't say go out of your way to watch this match, but if you just want to throw in something fun and that's a nice chaotic type brawl, throw this on.
Yeah, it was really towards like the end, like who's Rob Van Dam gonna hit? Oh, he hits Angle. It was all like, and again, it's gonna be the same as SmackDown comes too. It's all basically all about like who's Rob Van Dam gonna 5-star frog splash? Is it Angle or is it Austin? He hit Angle this time, so Rob Van Dam still believes in Stone Cold and believes in what Austin is saying here as we go off on Raw here.
Yeah, it's nice to go off, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, a very weird Mick Foley segment. The No Mercy card is shaping it up to be very good. Christian is the newest Alliance member, and Rob Van Dam is proving himself still an Alliance member.
Yeah, I could have done without the commissioner gimmick is so worn out, especially at this time that, but I guess you needed it for these 2 warring factions, but we didn't need 2 of each. We should have just had Shane and Vince since they're the owners.
Yep. So now we're like, let's dive into it. Let's go to SmackDown. This is SmackDown from October 18th, 2001. We're at the Molson Center in Montreal. We have the recap of Raw where Rob Van Dam hit Kurt Angle with the 5-star frog splash. And now Chris Jericho comes to the ring. Jericho says everyone has been calling him a choke artist and saying that he can't win the big one. He says they are right. He has not won the big gold belt in either company yet. He never won the WCW WCW championship in his years in WCW, nor has he won the WWF belt yet as well. He says at No Mercy, he will win the big one. Stephanie McMahon comes out, or Stephanie McMahon Helmsley comes out. She tells Jericho to shut the hell up. So she starts to mock Jericho by telling him to shut the hell up. Steph says Jericho always loses the big one. Hopes The Rock beats Jericho. Out comes The Rock. Steph tells The Rock that Jericho has been against The Rock since day one. She shows Chris Jericho interrupting The Rock on Jericho's debut in Chicago from August of 1999, which was a pretty funny throwback. It's like ever since day one, he's been against you. Here, he even interrupts you just so he can make his big entrance.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
I like Stephanie here because, like, she is really, like, playing these two against each other. And she doesn't even like – she hates both of them, but she hates Jericho more, even though it's like, now, Rock, I know you and I didn't get along, but I want you to kick Jericho's ass. Oh, man, I forgot what he said, but she shows clips of Jericho interrupting The Rock on his first night. Jericho calls Steph a hoe, and then The Rock, yeah, not Jeff. The Rock calls Steph's body phony fun bags. That was hilarious.
Yeah, she was, first off, Steph looked great. And Y2J came out and he said all the people who said he couldn't main event can kiss his ass. Also, there was loud slut chants, Gruney. I don't know if you heard that. It was rough. But I did like how Stephanie's just stirring the pot more with both of them, and she says she hates them both and then left. But yeah, it's pretty good. I'll let you continue with it.
Yeah, I forgot. We're not even done yet. I thought that was
it. This segment went 20 minutes.
Yeah, I forgot how long it went. So Stephanie leaves. Jericho and The Rock go nose to nose. Rock tells Jericho you didn't stay out of The Rock's way. Jericho says he was trying to save The Rock. Jericho says to The Rock, that The Rock he was trying to save the WCW title for No Mercy. Rock says Jericho is not that good and can't win the big one. Jericho puts his hand up in the front of The Rock's face and then tells The Rock to just bring it. So Jericho mocks The Rock. Jericho gets rock bottom to a loud chorus of boos from the Montreal crowd. They don't boo anybody from Canada.
No, they don't. And the Jericho putting his hand in his face is it's a pretty famous, iconic scene. I know that was used on a lot of video packages.
Oh yeah, it was, and it was iconic for someone to finally do it to The Rock, and it was like Chris Jericho, and it is crazy how much that was used. And now we are backstage. The Alliance is having a party for Rob Van Dam tonight. Stone Cold then arrives. Stone Cold says RVD is on his side and the Alliance's side. Austin says they are going to celebrate tonight for Rob Van Dam. Then Taz says if RVD hits Stone Cold with the 5-star frog splash or Kurt Angle with the 5-star frog splash, he could become the WWF champion. Austin then starts to laugh, but then he gets serious again, and he tells Taz to leave and get out of the party. He's a party pooper.
Yeah, Taz is such a buzzkill. It made me laugh. He's like, yeah, then it might be he can pin Angle and you not even get pinned and lose the title. And he's like, leave, yeah, get out.
Leave. You're a party pooper.
What?
Yeah. A limo pulls up, but nobody comes out yet. So we'll have to see what happens, like who's in the limo. As Michael Cole, again, if he wasn't plugging WWF No Mercy, not on DirecTV, who's in the limo, Paul?
Yeah, this got played out so much. This is also a relic of the past, Gruney, as I discussed on the Russo, as I talked about on the Russo pod. That's how they would show up. It's like, oh my God, who's in the limo? Who just showed up in this car? So,
yep. Trust me, Scott, it gets worse for you in WCW.
Oh, I'm well aware.
And now we have a 6-person tag. It is the Hurricane, Lance Storm, and Mighty Molly versus the Hardy Boys and Lita. Keep in mind, Scott, we have not seen Ivory wrestle at all, and she's with Lance Storm. Wonder if this was trying to give Lance Storm a personality here.
That's definitely what it feels like, but their pairing is so off. Like, of Hurricane and Lance Storm, like it's just so off. It makes no sense to me.
Hey, Scott, they had Just Incredible. Why not just let Paul Heyman bring back the Impact players, huh?
Because that would make too much sense. That would make too much sense, Gruney.
They're not WWF guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Lance and Jeff start off Tilt-A-Whirl Slam to Lance, Poetry in Motion, Russian leg sweep by Matt, neck breaker by Hurricane. Hurricane misses a leg drop. A neck snap by Molly, neck breaker to Matt, shoulder dive to Matt by Lance. Jeff takes out Lance, tag to Molly and Lita, spear to Molly and a drop kick. Triple suplex by Team Extreme. Ivory shoves Lita into Jeff. And then I have the Hurricane to Jeff for the win. But this matchup, I gave it 2 stars. It was a fun matchup here. And it's interesting that Hurricane and Lance Storm get the win here after suffering a beatdown from the APA on Monday Night Raw, Scott.
Yeah, and you didn't mention, Gruney, that Jeff wrestled half the match with a hat on, like he was the Ultimate Warrior. That one time Jerry Lawler was supposed to hit him in the head with the painting. And it only comes off when he gets thrown out of the ring. But it was so weird. I was like, I guess he was on the drugs. But Molly hits a nice net breaker here. I forgot how over Lita was because we get loud. We want Lita chants. I liked when the Lita and the Hardys hit a nice triple suplex on everyone. That was nice. And the Eye of Hurricane was pretty sweet. Would you go with this?
I gave 2 stars too.
Yeah. I went. It's in between like a star and 3/4 and 2 2/4 range. So 2's perfectly fine.
Now the APA are backstage as the superhero and his friends are walking back up the ramp here. They steal the Hurricycle, and Bradshaw goes to Farouk. Hey man, I know where a great bar is here in the state of Montreal. Just keep on driving. We'll get there eventually. Scott, this was a terrible paint job on the Hurricycle. It's goose shit green. This was so bad. I was like, this is terrible. This isn't even the Hurricycle. It's an old military bike with just with an H on it, basically. It was so bad.
Yeah, and like we said before, they don't even face each other, but they're still having like this feud with each other. And they don't even face each other at the pay-per-view. It makes no sense. Like, why even have this little rivalry if they're never ever going to match up?
Funny draws money, Scott.
It's not funny. The only thing that was funny was Farouk trying to get in the sidecar, and he couldn't get his big ass in there because he's not even fat. He's just a big human.
They don't even paint the bike black with the logo on it, which is what Hurricane is used to. It's goose shit green, and it was so bad.
Oh, it's green as goose shit, son.
Yeah, exactly. Stone Cold and the Alliance are backstage again. Stone Cold tells a Kurt Angle story. He's talking about, Kurt Angle won his gold medals and everything. And then, when Kurt Angle got to exit 316, he called an ass whooping, or it was mile 316. He said he called an ass kicking. I beat him so badly he lost the WWF title. I beat him at SummerSlam, which is a lie. But then Stone Cold forgets that Kurt Angle beat him at Unforgiven. But then that doesn't matter because now Stone Cold beat him on Raw again. So we get the gist here. The Alliance is just smiling and laughing about this story. Then William Regal comes in with Stephanie. Regal then announces Christian as the newest member of the Alliance. Stone Cold says, keep reaching for that star, kid. And Christian's like, thanks, Steve. I always loved you, man. And then the limo is still outside, so we're still waiting to see who gets out of the limo.
But then the door opens and shuts for no reason.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, oh wait, who's in the limo, Paul? He's like, I don't know. Shut up. Yeah, the door opened, yeah. Taz, and now we have Taz versus Maven again. But this time, Maven is with Nydia. Let's see how this one goes. For the third time, Scott. Third time. Taz beats on Maven, chops the Maven, punches the Maven, suplex by Taz. Nydia grabs Taz, and then Maven rolls up Taz for the win. His matchup was so fast, it should have been a dud. I don't know why I gave it, but it's a quarter star. I think it's just for the big pop that Maven, the rookie, rolled up Taz for the surprise win, and Taz is such a goof here as well.
Yeah, it's a dud for me because this is nothing. Like Taz could have won, but he pulls him up so he doesn't get to 3 count, so he can keep beating him, and then Taz gets distracted by Nydia and he gets rolled up. It's just dumb. Makes everyone look like shit, including Taz.
Yeah. It's so annoying. Yeah. Taz is just falling,
Yeah, and he can't get up. It's that bad.
Called life alert.
Yep.
He's on life support here.
He really is.
Yeah. Rob Van Dam comes out of the limo. He is talking to somebody, but we don't know who that somebody is. He's like, I really enjoyed talking to you, man. You're not a bad guy after all. And we don't know who it is. And again, who's in the limo, because we know Rob Van Dam was talking to somebody. So Rob Van Dam comes out of the limo, at least, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't shocked with it being RVD, but it was nice to see. They're like, oh, look who he is driving. He's in the big wig now, and Paul's like, yeah, he's a star. What do you expect?
Yeah, and they were like, oh, well, RVD's arriving. I have good authority. Rob Van Dam's going to be here soon. But I don't think anyone expected him to be in the limo, but he's in the limo. We get the highlights of Jericho and The Rock, beating up each other. Jericho looks on as, Rob Van Dam and Rhino beat up The Rock, and then The Rock gives Jericho the rock bottom. Mick Foley is backstage with Lillian Garcia. He says that The Rock and Jericho need to team up to ease the tension of the two and save it all for No Mercy. And then he says it'll be the Dudley Boys. There's the Big Show and Tajiri for the WWF titles. Again, just making matches, no problem.
Yep, just making matches.
Rob Van Dam comes to the party. Stone Cold hugs him, and Stone Cold says RVD will do the right thing at No Mercy. He'll hit Kurt Angle with the 5-star frog splash, but Stone Cold will get the win, and the WWF title will stay right here at the Alliance. Austin says he will be Rob Van Dam's biggest fan tonight as Rob Van Dam faces Kurt Angle tonight. Austin gives Rob Van Dam his watch. Gives Rob Van Dam his watch, and they're hugging and everyone's celebrating and saying RVD, RVD.
Yeah, I mean, Foley's reason for why he wants to team up Rock and Jericho and them saying that he's a master in psychology, and she's like, really? He's like, no, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express, which I know was topical, but like, it's just terrible. I love Test and Booker T being like, all right, we got to go. There's a party. We have a match. And Austin sucking up to him. He's like, here, I'm gonna give you my watch. And everyone's like, oh, and it's just, I don't know. It just makes me laugh when he's such like the way he's a heel. It's great because he's not trying to get cheered.
Mm-hmm. So now we have Kane and The Undertaker versus Test and Booker T. All four-man brawl. Double clothesline by Kane. Clothesline and neckbreaker by Kane. Tag to Undertaker. Clothesline by Test. Tag to Booker T. Clothesline to Booker by Taker. Old school to Booker. Scoop slam by Kane. Kane misses a leg drop. Big boot to Test. Sidewalk slam to Test. Test counters Kane. Swinging neckbreaker to Kane. Undertaker pushes prevents Test from hitting an elbow. Suplex to Test. Clotheslines by Undertaker. DDT to Booker T. Test clotheslines Undertaker. Low blow to Kane by Test. A chokeslam to Booker. Chokeslam to Test. Boot to Booker T. Big boots of Undertaker, and Booker pins Undertaker. For this matchup, I went 2 3/4, Scott. This is a very good, intense matchup. You know, Undertaker was just laying waste to Booker T and Test, but they were giving a lot to Test and Booker here as well.
Yeah, this was a nice house battle with 3 of the 4 guys being big guys in this. But I loved the swinging neckbreaker that you brought up as well. But Kane hits a superplex on Test, which I thought was nice. And then for the ending, which I thought was a pretty cool spot, Taker had Booker up for the last ride, and when Taker lifting him up, Test hit him with the big boot, and that's how they won. So I thought that was a brilliant spot, something we hadn't seen. I wish was utilized more often. Was like if Taker was in one of these matches, like when he would lift him up because he can't see him, and he'll just be like shocked with like a kick or something. So I thought that was very nice, and Booker T gets a well-deserved win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I went for 2 3/4 as we also know that it's going to be the Undertaker's facing Booker T, and then Kane's going to be facing Test at No Mercy. Then, in the shock of the century, Scott, the limo door opens again. Out comes Vince McMahon. He steps out of the limo to everybody's shock. Then,
the shock of everyone, Gruney, like you said.
Yeah. Like, the audience was cheering. Like, everyone's like, and Paul Heyman, not him. What the hell? Not him. It's Vince McMahon. We come back from commercial break. As moments ago, Vince McMahon came out of the limo, and we're back in the Alliance locker room. I have one fault here with this Alliance segment here. Vince McMahon just came out of a limo. Stone Cold is in the face of Rob Van Dam. Scott, where are Shane and Stephanie?
No idea.
They're in the background.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. No. But this is the problem, Scott. Stephanie is like next to Devon Dudley. Shane McMahon is like next to Chuck Palumbo and Canyon. Wouldn't they be like right up on RVD's grill too, since it's their father who they are trying to put out of business and have bought the companies against the WWF from?
You would think.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand it. Like, you would think for this big moment, you would have Shane McMahon and Steph giving like the most evil, mean looks ever. Because Stephanie can pull a mean look, and Shane can like pull a look of disgust. They're in the background with Chuck Palumbo and Devon, as it's only Stone Cold looking on at Rob Van Dam. I thought this was so like kind of bad. And like Rob Van Austin is pissed off that Rob Van Dam was talking to Vince McMahon, and then he tells RVD to leave. But again, why weren't Shane and Stephanie like in the front? It's so bad.
They should have been. And Austin also asked for his watch back.
Yes, I forgot that too. Give me back my watch.
Yeah, he's like, give me back my watch now.
You're talking to Vince? No, you don't deserve the watch.
Which I thought was great.
Now we have Devon Dudley versus Tajiri. A segment, and now we have another match. Devon goes to work on Tajiri, drop kick to Devon, Hurricanrana by Tajiri, leg drop to Tajiri, chops to Devon. Devon misses a dive. Handspring elbow to Devon, and then all hell breaks loose, and then we get a 3D to Jerry. Then we get a 3D to Jerry by the Dudley boys. But then the Big Show comes out. He gives a choke slam to Devon, and then to Jerry pins Devon. For this matchup, I went 1 3/4.
Yeah, it was Jerry's offense is just awesome. Like I just love it so much. It's like 1.5 stars for me. Devon doesn't do anything for me in a solo outing, so yeah, it's
he has no offense.
No, he really doesn't. Like they're tag team wrestlers. Not everyone needs to be. Yeah.
Yep. Tori Wilson then returns after being put through the table. She slaps Stacy and then strips her down. So Tori Wilson getting retribution as these two ladies are heading into the lingerie match. Yep. Mm-hmm. Then we have Shane McMahon. He's yelling at Regal backstage. Regal says everything will be fine, but then Shane's like, no, it won't. Who knows where RVD is going? And, my father's back. First it was, my mother returning. Then Mick Foley gets the commissionership. Now Vince McMahon is back. And Shane will do everything in his power to take out his father as well. So a nice little Shane McMahon segment.
Yeah, I thought that was nice. Yeah, it was just like, holy shit. Like, I love like how he's bitching to Regal and everything. And like, we hadn't really seen much of Shane, to be honest, besides this. Shane's like, I thought I ran him out, but that was not the case.
Yeah, again, he was in the background with Chuck Palumbo just staring at Rob Van Dam, letting Austin handle all the work. And now we have the Rock and Chris Jericho versus, we don't know yet who they're facing yet. As Jericho tries to go after the Rock, then Raven and Justin Credible come out. Jericho then starts beating on the Rock. Raven tries to attack. Raven beats up Y2J. And then Raven and Justin, but then the Rock then Jericho hits Raven and Justin with a chair and hits Rock with a steel chair as well. Jericho then does the people's elbow to the Rock here.
That's one thing I love, Gruney, is when people are feuding and they steal their signature moves. It's something I enjoy.
So again, I gave this no rating. This was nothing. It was just to enhance it even more. That chair shot was really, 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 really hard on the Rock here as well.
Yeah, those chair shots are brutal to watch in 2025 eyes because they were not putting hands up. Just full bore.
No, and again, just send out Raven and Justin Credible.
Yeah,
okay.
They'll just catch an ass whooping.
Yep. Then we have highlights of Christian. Christian joining the Alliance here. Joining the Alliance. Edge is interviewing. Coach interviews Edge. Edge will not feel guilty about beating Christian to a bloody pulp. Edge says that he has no brother, ending the whole brother versus brother thing at No Mercy. So says he has no brother, so they're not brothers anymore. Edge looks for Christian. He runs into Stephanie McMahon, who has led Edge into a trap here. The Alliance guys hold down Edge, and Christian beats down Edge with a chair as well. So again, Christian getting one up on Edge again.
Yep, making Edge look like a moron. I will say Christian gets another great line where he says, "Tell Mom I said hi." But yeah, I mean, this babyface Edge is something, but I don't know. It's I mean, it works for me, but it also shows how he's dumb because he has a chair and lets himself get surrounded.
Mm-hmm. So then we then get a recap of the full WWF No Mercy card, which was all the matches were pretty much announced. You had the lingerie match between Tori and Stacy, the WCW title match versus The Rock versus Chris Jericho, the triple threat match, Stone Cold versus Kurt Angle versus Rob Van Dam for the WWF title, the WWF Intercontinental title in a ladder match, Edge versus Christian, Test versus Kane, Undertaker versus Booker T, and a match that was just actually added too, thrown together, but it seemed like that was the way they were going. It'll be two matches actually. The WWF Tag Team titles are on the line as the Dudley Boys will face off against Tajiri and the Big Show. But now we have the WCW Tag Team titles on the line as it'll be the Hardy Boys. They will face Lance Storm and the Hurricane for the WCW Tag Team titles. So a very good card for No Mercy, Scott.
Yeah, but I'd much rather see APA versus Hurricane and Lance Storm, but that's not the case.
Yeah, and again, no Rhino U.S. title on the line.
Yeah, which sucks because Rhino is one of the best things about the Alliance.
Yep. Believe it or not, Scott, we are now in our main event. This drama SmackDown here.
That's crazy.
And keep in mind, Scott, we have not seen Vince McMahon since the September 11th edition of SmackDown. They were holding him like he took a lot of time off because he had knee surgery. But again, he definitely had to come out and like make a statement on the 9/11 or the 9/13 SmackDown just for the whole like perception of that the WWF is not afraid to entertain you and stuff too. So he couldn't hold back any longer. Like he had to say, "Oh, well, WWF is not afraid." So he had to make an appearance there. And then he disappeared again, and now he's back.
Yeah, so they didn't say why he was no longer there after 9/11. It's just they just wrote him off. Okay.
Yeah, I think he still wasn't ready to come back. He was like, "I need to just hold it off just a little bit more, too."
Yeah, I mean, I wish they would have done the same with Stephanie and Shane. Just have the leaders be like Kurt Angle and Stone Cold with The Rock as well. But that's the problem is you didn't really build up any WCW wrestlers besides Booker T, but you've had him lose at SummerSlam. Did he?
Yeah, and Shane McMahon was in the Unforgiven WCW title match as well, so he had to stay on too.
Okay. Yeah.
With Stephanie, they were just trying to find shit for her. They were just always doing the whole Chris Jericho battle with her.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. I remember that a lot.
Yep. So, like I said, we have in our main event is Rob Van Dam versus Kurt Angle. Angle beats down RVD. RVD goes into the table. RVD throws Kurt Angle into the steps. Kurt throws RVD into the guardrail. Reverse cross body to Angle. German suplex to RVD. RVD counters an Angle slam. Spinning heel kick to Angle. Kick to Angle. Rolling thunder to Angle. Cross body to RVD. Belly to belly suplex by Angle. Angle slam to RVD. Ankle lock to Rob Van Dam, but Austin comes out. A stunner to Angle, and then Rob Van Dam gets tossed out. Angle slam to Austin. Both men are down again. Rob Van Dam throws himself up on the top turnbuckle, and he hits a 5-star frog splash on Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That was awesome.
Michael Cole was like, RVD just 5-star frog splashed Austin. And everybody was cheering for him. Like, yeah, like Rob Van Dam just 5-star frog splash Stone Cold. I loved Rob Van Dam's ads of like what he was wearing here, like all the airbrushes and stuff. Like that was cool. And even Kurt Angle's like red, white, and blue with the gold here was awesome too.
Yeah, Angle, when he's intense, it's fucking awesome. Like, it's just amazing. It's just how great he is. RVD bloodied up Angle's mouth, so I guess he got some kicks in on him. That was a nice crossbody that Angle hit as well. And then Austin, he's the one that put his hands on RVD first by throwing him out of the ring. I loved how, like, RVD was in the both situations, Raw and SmackDown, and he laid both of them out. And I like Vince doing the RVD pose as SmackDown goes off the air.
Yep. As like you said, Mr. McMahon comes out. Rob Van Dam looks at him, and then Mr. McMahon does the Rob Van Dam thumbs. And even Kurt Angle's in shock. It's like, what are you playing at, Vince? Like, I thought I was your boy. And Austin is just looking pissed, like, how dare you? They should have done a shot of Shane and Stephanie backstage looking at each other like, what the hell? They don't even do that.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah. For the match itself, give me 2 3/4 stars as well.
Yeah, I will. I'll do the same. It was, like I said, I really enjoyed that. They had pretty good chemistry. I'm sure Angle wasn't too happy with like RVD like jacking his jaw and that stuff.
No, but I think Angle knows that Rob Van Dam works stiff, and he was like, don't roll back on me. I can take it.
Yeah.
But again, all this build up to No Mercy, and Vince McMahon just inserts himself back into professional wrestling, and he throws out the thumbs here.
Yeah, I really like the Vince doing the RVD thing.
All right, Scott. Well, that's going to do it from us covering Raw and SmackDown here tonight. But do you have anything that you want to address the listeners to?
Thanks for having me on, Gruney. I think this is my 3rd time doing this. It's always fun to relive this. You can check me out. I'm on Backbone Wrestling Network. I have my own podcast, Are You Smarter Than Vince Russo's WCW? We are almost through with Vince Russo's first tenure with WCW. We are at the tail end of 1999. The NWO is just reformed. It's driving me to madness. You can check me out on Lucha Underground, Linking Up Luchas, which we're on season 3 of that right now, also on Backbone. And I'm on YouTube Roulette monthly, which is me acting a fool. But Gruney, thanks again for having me, buddy. These are a lot of fun to do. I enjoy talking with you with this wrestling stuff. You're doing great work on the Invasion, which could have been better, but you're doing the best you can with the shit that WWF gave you.
Yeah, I'm also doing the best I can with trying to find the Raws too.
Well, there is that.
Daily Motion.
Yes.
Yes. As shitty as this Invasion is, trying to find the Raws is just as shitty. Luckily, when I need a YouTube main event, it just happens to be there,
Thankfully on the vault. Yes.
Yeah. As for me, you can mostly find me on the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed here. I have this podcast, and I also have Extreme Resurrection, where me and Steve Riddle, we go through ECW on Sci-Fi from 2006 to 2010. We are often running in 2008. Chavo Guerrero finally pinned CM Punk to be the ECW champion, as we are heading into No Way Out 2008. And then CM Punk disguised himself as a sombrero player for Chavo's Fiesta Nights. He hits Chavo Guerrero with a guitar as well. So you can catch all that on Extreme Resurrection. And I also have a podcast on the Place to Be Nation Pop feed. It is called Pop Goes Degrassi, where me and John Casalico, we are covering Degrassi Next Generation episodes. We are just off and running on season 2. We just had Tim Capel on for the season 2 premiere of, it is called When Doves Cry, parts 1 and 2. We are introduced to the mysterious Craig Manning, and we see how bad of a relationship him and his father are having, and the fallout from season 1 of, the teens not talking to Ashley, and things are still pretty messy with Emma and Sean as they embark on meeting their new friend, Craig, here. So you can catch all of that on the Place to Be Nation pop feed. I want to thank Scott Shifflett again for being my guest. Thank you, Scott.
No problem, Gruney. Thanks for asking me once again.
Yep. Be prepared as we, the nation, bring the invasion.